One.
Oh my gosh, we have such an amazing show that's going to be going on today. We have an ex or former CIA operative here with us, and he's actually turned into a master healer with Spring Forest Qigong, which is a form of healing movements. But you know, a lot of people out here have never met or a CIA agent, so you know they have a wider perspective on what's going on in the entire world, how these in how you know with the planet and everything, because they're one of the things that they do is they gather information and see how it clicks together and everything. And then how do you apply that to the healing movement in order to make the planet a better place and humanity, mankind, a lot better? So this is one of the things that we're going to be covering here with Hon K Lee, and also on board tonight we also have Michael Chitowski. He's with he's a herbal and also acupuncturist, and he's going to assist me in questioning Hon K Lee. And I'm just so excited today to see me at, you know, I'm just, wow, man. So this is definitely going to be cool. All right, that's today on Health Awareness Talk. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Malik L. Train, certified fitness trainer, certified hypnotherapist, also certified Reiki master. Today we're going to be interviewing and having a talk with Seafood Hon K Lee. He's an ex-CIA operative and also a master spy that's turned into a master healer through Spring Forest Qigong, which is dealing with different healing elements. Also I have to help to question him is Michael Chitowski. He owns his own herbal shop, and he's going to tell us a lot more about that. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce, and he also has been studying Tai Chi for like 30 years. And he's also an acupuncturist as well. Michael, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. I'm Michael Chitowski. I live in Northern California, Redding, California. And I have a Chinese herbal business called East Earth Trade Winds, and it's found on the internet at eastearthtrade.com. I've been selling Chinese herbs nationally and internationally for about 30 years, trying to promote health and awareness through Chinese herbs. I got my training in herbs actually from going to acupuncture college and have been licensed to practice acupuncture for about the same amount of time. And I have a clinic here in Redding called Redding Acupuncture Healthcare. And we have a pretty busy clinic and see a lot of people, and once again trying to promote the Asian Oriental healing arts and preventative medicine.
Wow, that is definitely super, Michael. Okay, Han, how about yourself? Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Because in your book, you went scholar, warrior, spy, teacher, healer. Man, you're just a Renaissance man, aren't you?
I don't know about that, Michael, but first of all, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to be here on your show. And I want to thank Michael for coming on also. Michael and I think, share some of the same paths because I got into Chinese medicine kind of late in life. I started off growing up in New York's Chinatown, on the rough streets of Chinatown, and I had to take martial arts in order to defend myself because I was getting bullied so much. Then I joined the Marine Corps to try to prove myself. But the horrors of war made me realize the futility of war, and I looked for solutions and how to achieve peace. I thought I'd join the CIA because the CIA would offer me a chance to provide policymakers with information that we could use to avoid war and to avoid squandering our national treasure. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, good intelligence doesn't always translate into good policy. But I did have a chance to travel around the world and learn quite a few things. But in the course of my travels, I realized that my real goal in life was to be of service to others. And so I chased my childhood dream of studying Chinese medicine and practicing acupuncture. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm sticking needles in people to try to help them. And in the process of doing that, I learned that one of the most powerful healing modalities is Qigong. And so I studied Qigong with Master Hon K, who created Spring Forest Qigong. And as you mentioned, I wrote a memoir recently called Paths Less Traveled of a Scholar, Warrior, Spy, Teacher, Healer. And it's my way of introducing people to Chinese medicine, sort of in a sneaky way, but what can you expect from a former spy, right? I wanted to hook people on the spy stories, because no one can resist a good spy story, right?
Yes, all right.
And in the last chapters of my book, I describe the benefits, the healing power of Chinese medicine and Qigong. That's my story.
All right, that's absolutely super. What was that healing exercise, growing fingers thing you was telling us about?
Oh, yes. One of the things that is very powerful is the mind. The mind can do a lot of things to either help us or to impede. So let's all try the fingers growing game. Have you heard of this fingers growing game, Malik?
I've heard about it, never actually practiced it.
Okay, let's all try this. Even the people who may not see us on the video, but they can hear us. I want everybody to put their hands together so that you have two wrist creases, right? At the bottom, at the base of your palms, there's a line, there's a crease. I want you to carefully line up those creases and then extend your fingers and your hands so that both hands and fingers match. So that one hand is usually always with fingers longer than the other. To measure your fingers and see which hand has the shorter fingers. Have you got that, Malik?
Yes, sir.
Michael, have you tried that?
I'm doing it right now, and my right hand fingers are shorter than my left.
Okay, whichever hand has the shorter fingers, including all those people in our radio audience today and watching us in video, hold up the hand with the shorter fingers. Hold up the hand with the shorter fingers and drop the other hand. Drop the other hand. Now I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine that your fingers are getting longer. They're getting longer and longer still. They're growing into giant, giant fingers. Giant fingers, longer, longer, and longer. Now, I want your eyes, and again, measure your fingers. Match up the base of your palms where the wrist crease is, and then match them up and stretch your fingers out. Now, what happened? Did the shorter fingers get longer?
Yes.
Malik?
Mine did. How about you, Michael?
They seem to be about the same right now. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now hold up the same hand again. Hold up the same hand and close your eyes. Now fingers back to normal. Fingers back to normal. Fingers growing back to normal. Now measure your hands again. Now, what happened there? Did your fingers grow back to normal, Malik?
Mine did. Michael?
It sure did, yeah.
That's interesting. I like that.
Okay. Now, for those of you in the audience, if your fingers didn't grow back to normal, you'd have to get new glove sizes. Now, let's try it with the other hand. Try it with the other hand. We're going to measure our hands again. Yeah, hold them up and be sure to line up the base wrist creases of your palm. Stretch them out. So the other hand with the longer fingers, right? I want you to hold that hand up. Hold that hand up. And down. Close your eyes now. Imagine that your fingers are getting shorter. Getting shorter, shorter, and shorter still. Shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. Now hold up your hands again and measure your fingers. Now how about that? Did your fingers did the hand with you held up, the fingers get shorter?
Yes, and if anybody out there, yeah, it did. Anybody out there listening to this on radio, if it does happen for you, please send us in your input on sirbroadcast.com. That is funny. Thank you.
Okay, well let's put that hand up again because we don't want you to have short fingers. Okay, hold that hand up again. Close your eyes. Fingers growing back to normal. Back to normal, back to normal. Now measure it again. Measure your hands again. Correct. Are they back to normal?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes, they are, yeah.
Now, what that exercise does, it illustrates the power of the mind. The mind and our energy of the mind can change our physiology. So my question to you and the audience is, what are we telling ourselves every day? Are we telling ourselves that, we can't do something, or I'm ill, I'm sick, I'll never get better? Or are we sending the correct messages to our bodies?
Okay.
That's the power of Qigong.
Wow, that is absolutely super. Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember we was talking with Yadi on a last program that we did on creating the ultimate athlete, an Eastern perspective, and Yadi was telling us that Qigong was actually greater for him than acupressure, and also with the food and herbology and herbs and stuff. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what he said. He said that he tried, I believe he said he had even tried acupuncture and all the other doctors too, but it was Qigong that really made the incredible differences in his health for him.
Yeah, that was right. What's your take on that, Han?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned athletics. I think a lot of trainers now, whether you're playing golf or tennis or you're a boxer, trainers realize the power of visualization. In Chinese medicine, we have a saying, where the intention goes, the qi follows. So our intentions and the way we can visualize things will help our bodies react much faster and quicker. So we can actually optimize our athletic performances by doing things like Qigong and visualization. And visualization is an important component of Qigong.
Yeah, that visualization. So I mean, just basically, because you got to pay money for herbs, and you got to pay money continually for the acupuncture. So you got a choice between, you got an illness, and you got only 3 modalities that you can use. You can either use herbs, you can use acupuncture, or you can use Qigong. What you going to use, Han?
Well, I don't think it has to be an either or. I think Qigong is something that anybody can do, and it doesn't require any money or time or having to see people, because it's actually a pillar of Chinese medicine. So Qigong and Chinese medicine, which includes acupuncture and herbs and the other pillars of Chinese medicine, including massage and Tui Na and nutritional therapy, they all share the same foundation and the same theories. I think Michael can back me up on that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually, see, that kind of, that's why I wish Yachty was still on the phone, because that's who he was telling, was on the show tonight, was because Yachty was telling me basically, he was said, well, Qigong is all that. I mean, like, all right, Qigong works great, okay? But, you know, being a personal trainer, being an athlete, I love my herbs, okay? I love my reishi, I love my ginseng, I love my gotu kola, and, you know, ginkgo biloba, 24% flavor side. It seems to have a more stronger effect on me. But then I also know that there's certain Qigong. I know acupressure works. Get a toothache, you hit certain acupressure points and knock it right out, or a headache or something, knock it right out as well. But you know, from bodybuilding perspective, you know, we always exercise, and then we use food and also supplements in order to help to build our bodies and stuff up. So I'm totally agreeing with y'all when y'all say it's an equal part. You need herbs. In my case, I like three treasure herbalism. That's that's what I like to do. Tonic herbalism. You know what that is, right, Hon?
Yes. Herbs are very powerful, and I use herbs daily.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just say one thing about traditional or classical Chinese medicine, it includes acupuncture. It includes herbs, nutritional therapy, and Qigong. Mm-hmm. And some would say it includes feng shui, you know, geomancy, mm-hmm. and Chinese astrology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, let's set those aside for a minute, and I'll name what I consider the 5 pillars of traditional or classical Chinese medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That's acupuncture, massage or body work,
mm-hmm.
herbs, nutrition, and Qigong. Now, of all those 5 pillars,
mm-hmm.
which would you say was the most powerful and important?
I know probably the answer would be they all equal, but I love my herbs.
Michael, what would you say?
I'm going to say nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah, 80%. I can, yeah.
Now, you're both correct, powerful modalities. But according to the Taoist theory, the least powerful is acupuncture because it's the most invasive, and you have to go to somebody else to get treated. Unless you're an acupuncturist and you can treat yourself and stick needles in yourself. You have to go to somebody else. So acupuncture is a way to move your energy around, move your chi around, and rebalance your body. Second most important and powerful is body work. Mm-hmm. So instead of doing exercise, you can have your energy around. You can have somebody else do it by massaging, right?
Okay, so somebody manually do it for you.
Right. Now, herbs, according to Taoist theory, is the third most powerful because it's directional, and you don't necessarily have to go to somebody to get the herbs. Of course, you have to go to a practitioner who would prescribe herb for you. But I'm sure that Malik, you probably have some herbs or supplements that you take yourself
mm-hmm,
on a
mm-hmm.
daily basis, and you don't really have to go to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nutrition is considered the next most powerful because it's non-invasive. You can do it yourself, and just like the old adage, what you eat is what you are, right?
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
foods are very powerful. In Chinese medicine, we use food as medicine.
Mm-hmm.
But the most powerful is what you can do for yourself every day
mm-hmm.
is Qigong.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's non-invasive, you don't have to go to somebody else, and you can practice it every day on your own, and it can potentiate all the other pillars. Not only can it potentiate the pillars of Chinese medicine, but if you're taking Western meds, if you're taking Western pharmaceuticals, it can also potentiate the effects of those as well. so you can lower your dosage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why according to Taoist theory, Qigong is the most powerful medicine. And Qigong includes breath.
Mm-hmm.
We breathe, how we hold ourselves, posture, movement. But the most powerful of all of the Qigong modalities is meditation. Because it's how you quiet your mind. And as we demonstrated in the fingers growing game, it's what we tell ourselves and the messages we send to ourselves and how we heal ourselves and also help others heal.
Okay, Han, let me make sure I got this right. So they're like 5 pillars. And the 5 pillars, according to their order of importance or strength, is, you said the first one is Qigong?
The first most powerful is Qigong.
And on that Qigong is the meditation or the still exercises, and then second is the moving, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Second is the second part of that is the herbalism.
Now the next most powerful after Qigong is nutrition.
Nutrition. Okay. Then we got nutrition,
which we eat every day.
Okay, things that we eat every day. What's the third?
Third is herbal medicine.
Third is herbal medicine. What's the fourth?
The fourth is massage.
Fourth is massage, and the fifth is acupressure.
Acupressure, actually acupuncture.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to. Put myself out of business because I'm an acupuncturist. But I'll tell you, my goal is to help people help themselves. And that's why I always recommend all my patients practice Qigong.
Right. So all your patients and also Qigong helps people to keep their results too, right?
Yes.
That's the most important, because we have a lot of people, they go into remission. I mean, they whatever you call it, when the disease comes back. And a lot of times, I mean, you can do it. You can help people with the acupuncture and all that other type. If they don't change their lifestyle habits, they have a tendency for those diseases and everything to come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my Qigong teacher, Master Hon K, who created Spring Forest Qigong, I mean, he's made tumors disappear.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, and that's how.
It's really miraculous.
Yeah, with dealing with Reiki and Reiki energy and stuff, I've actually seen stuff like that actually happen. So people have headaches, they disappear. People have pain in their jaw and everything, that they disappear. The most interesting, but the tumor thing, I tell people, people might get mad at me. I say Reiki is kind of like kindergarten, because anybody can do it when they go through that. When you go through the Qigong or the any of the Qigong things, that's more going towards like college, because you have to exercise, and you have to actually move your body on a regular basis, and also you have to do something that's with it. And I find that to be very interesting. As a matter of fact, one of the head people of Spring Forest Qigong is a Reiki master. The lady who actually runs everything. You got Chun-Li, and you got the lady who does the advertising and stuff. You know who I'm talking about, huh?
I'm not quite sure, but we do have a lot of Reiki masters who have taken Spring Forest and really like it. Malik, I'm glad you mentioned Reiki, because Reiki has a lot of things that are very similar to Spring Forest Qigong, and all the energy work. They're all good, and they all have shared common elements to them. What I'd like to say about Qigong is that it involves not just healing yourself, healing other people. Now in Spring Forest we have different levels of Qigong, but the highest level is really the spiritual level, and in the spiritual level we try to connect with our soul purpose and to become radiators of love energy. That's what Hon K espouses in his philosophy of trying to have a healer in every family in the world without. Because Hon K says that the greatest healing power in the world is love, unconditional love. So when we radiate love, we affect everything and everyone around us.
That's it. And then we become what we are, and in our reality, everybody becomes more loving as well. You know, it's like a tuning fork. When you have a lot of tuning fork, when you hit it, it begins to vibrate, and then when there's another fork around there, and it's the same as the other one, it begins to vibrate too. And the Bible basically talks about that humanity or God is made of love, light, and life, and therefore, being children of God, we also will love, light, and light. And what happens is when we have somebody who's very loving, that it's just like a tuning fork. It begins to radiate that's in the love that's within each of us. And so the greater love that we have, the more we begin to radiate it, and other people begin to resonate with ourselves. So that's why a lot of people, they call charisma or something. It's because you're a great resonator. And when you have that love and that confidence and stuff, you make everybody else seem more loving and seem more confident, and begin to accomplish things that they want to do in life. What you have to say about that, Hon?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're all connected in the universe, and the more chances we have to help other people, we're actually helping ourselves. I call it the boomerang effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is the boomerang effect. But he called compassionate action. Anytime that we begin to do things for other people and the planet instead of ourselves, the Bible says there's no greater love than a person have than this, that they lay down their life for a brother. And a lot of people think that they actually sacrifice their life, but it goes a lot deeper than that. If you sacrifice your time is the greatest thing that any man can have. So when you sacrifice your time and for your brother, for the planet, for the people that you care about and everything, that really what happens is that you got like 5 levels of brain, 5 levels of resonance within your mind. You got the beta level, which we're talking at. We got the alpha level, in which we actually begin to think. We got the theta, which is when for painless childbirth, or when you just don't feel pain at all. Then you have delta, which is sleep. And then we have what our body rejuvenates itself while unconscious. And then we have what we call gamma level. Okay, and a very interesting thing that they found about the gamma level is the highest functioning of the human brain, because we actually begin to connect with the universe, in which we be able to have we be able to help to heal other people, to be able to help to heal situations. And they did a study on the Tibetan monks, and they actually found out that when they go in their prayer and particular prayers and stuff like that, they reach this particular gamma level of this gamma level of mind, and they call it compassionate action for other people. That's why when people are so wrapped up in something that they love or something that they really care about, they can literally go days without eating or without sleeping, just focused on that one thing, because they're so passionate about it. It's because they literally hooked in into the energy of the universe. It's just like if they're sleeping but they're awake, and I found that so amazing.
That is so amazing. And when you mention compassion, Chinivin defines that as love in action.
Mm-hmm.
That is doing things for other people. And when you get into those meditative states and you get out of your own mind and out of your own ego and self and try to be of service to other people, I think that is very powerful. One of the things I learned in my life experiences is to try. One of my goals is to help wounded warriors, because I was in combat in Vietnam, and that's one of my big pet projects, so to speak, is to try to help wounded warriors and their families, people who have served our country and have risked their life and limbs serving our country. As I mentioned, I wrote, and all the profits from the sale of my book will be going to one or more charities that will benefit servicemen who have been either physically, spiritually, or emotionally.
Mm-hmm. That is okay. Tell me about some stories that you actually worked with servicemen and helped them to get over their Gulf War syndrome and their depression and stuff from war, Hon?
Yes, I provide free services to all former servicemen or current servicemen or women who have been injured in the line of duty. And I also offer free Qigong classes to these same individuals.
Wow, that is super. Could you give us your telephone number over the air, please, for some for people who may want to call in, who's listening now on that?
Yes, it's 571-306-0533.
Okay, can you say that one more time, please?
Yes, 571-306-0533.
Okay, that's super. Could you give us any example of the people that you've actually helped? You don't have to give no names or anything. Just take us through one of the caseworks.
Well, I'd like to tell you about one particular individual, and I'll mention by name because it's Adrian, who is, and his wife Diana, who have formed a charity called Invisible Wounds, and Adrian, if you Google Invisible Wounds, you can find these two individuals. Adrian was an Army officer who suffers from PTSD, and his wife Diana, they've been real advocates for getting help for veterans who are going through the trauma of war.
Excuse me, hon. What's PTSD?
PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Wow, what is that?
Well, that's when you suffer from psychological and emotional trauma. It could be at war, or it could be from rape, or it could be in a car accident. But the veterans who come back from Iraq and Afghanistan, so many of them suffer from PTSD and brain injury.
Mm-hmm. And so what happened with the people? How did you help them?
Well, I use acupuncture and Chinese herbs, and the most powerful thing is helping them to learn Qigong, because in Qigong they don't have any of the side effects of pharmaceuticals, and it works because a lot of people can't come to acupuncture as often as I would like, but they can do Qigong every day on their own.
Well, did it work?
Yes, it helps people, and in fact, the Marine Corps and a lot of the services now are teaching veterans how to do meditation.
Okay.
Not just people coming back, but people preparing to go into combat zones, because they can become more resilient and they can rebound faster, recover faster.
Super. Hey, Michael.
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever dealt with anybody with post-traumatic syndrome, PTSD?
Oh, yeah, it's very common. A lot of we hear a lot of it from the Gulf War. People fought in Iraq, Afghanistan, places like that, but quite a few Vietnam veterans suffer from that. And I'm sure that any war, people are unprepared for what's going to happen there. It's not their normal concept. So people, come back to the good old United States, and people have no concept of what's going on in these countries, and they can have all sorts of problems. They can't sleep. They can be very sensitive to noises. A car backfires or something, and or in the middle of the night, they just wake up in sweats or heart pounding, things like that. It's a very serious problem, and I think the Qigong is good, meditation is good, things like that. Acupuncture is good. There's other experimental ways to treat that. In fact, while we're talking about natural medicine, I read a number of years ago about an off-use label drug for a blood pressure medicine that helps people kind of eliminate those bad memories, because basically when you have a horrific experience, and that could be in war, or it could be some sort of traumatic event in your life, like maybe a woman is raped, or child molested, or serious accident, your adrenaline's flowing at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that the adrenaline kind of locks in those memories, into your consciousness, and then you can't get it out. So if you think about your happy events in life, birthday parties when you're a kid, or here's Christmas, you think about that, that's a happy event too, and it's kind of locked in your memories. You can remember Santa Claus coming or something like that. Those are the good memories we want to have, but if it's been a war experience or a car wreck or loss of a loved one in some sort of traumatic way, then it's locked in. And so there's it's a blood pressure drug, and it has to be prescribed by a psychologist. But they've had some results with that in helping to eliminate that. And I think that there's the potential with acupuncture to do the same thing. As and though I don't have a training in psychology, basically what you would do is you would use points that affect the spirit in acupuncture. For example, there's a point Shen Men, Han knows all these points, which is found on the wrist. Also, there's one on the ear. But if you talk to people about these events and needle these points, I believe that you could possibly help release some of that. And it doesn't make you necessarily forget the memories, but it kind of releases that lock on the memory, on those traumatic events, so that you remember it, but you don't have the the rapid heartbeat or the panic attacks associated with that.
I understand that, because you said every time that we have one of those traumatic experiences, what happened is that adrenaline is increased that locks in that particular emotional moment, correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding of it, yes.
Okay, that's very interesting, because emotional freedom technique, tapping, which was created by Gary Craig, actually uses acupressure techniques in order to do the same thing. So when they go back, do you know what emotional freedom technique is, or EFT is, Han?
Yes, it's a very powerful technique created by Gary Craig, and in fact, it gained popularity because Gary had started using it with veterans in veterans hospitals to help veterans overcome PTSD, and he had amazing results. I've used it myself as to try to help patients and show them how to do it, because a lot of my patients are needle phobic.
There you go.
And so they don't want to have somebody sticking needles in them, but if I can show them a simple way that they can use at home, it really helps.
So you said this is what, oops, getting kind of echo, but this is what Michael had basically said, is that, which kind of explains EFT to me, was that when you begin to re-experience that, your adrenal gland, or that adrenaline, everything will go up. So when you hit these points, while you associate it to that experience, I guess what happen is your adrenal glands, or adrenal, what you call it, will actually start to go back down, and it will unlock it, and that's maybe how EFT works.
Well, I think it's also related in a way to Qigong. Because as you tap these points, which are at the ends or the beginnings of channels, you're also stating an affirmation.
Right.
Going back to a memory, and you're stating an affirmation, where whatever that affirmation is, then basically you're sending a message to your body, rewiring and the mechanisms that created that trauma.
Ah, okay. Well, hey, thanks a lot, Michael. I got a new knowledge and new information concerning that emotional freedom technique. So I didn't even know that your body produces an adrenaline and it locks. That's very interesting for a discussion.
Yeah, it's kind of the key. Yeah, that's my understanding, at least, how it works. So yeah, it's important. But like I said, of course we do have good memories, and we do want to lock into good memories, but it's the bad ones we want to somehow be able to release them to a certain extent. I'd like to say one other thing too, is that I like to read about Chinese history a lot, and there's a book that's one of the oldest books in the world as far as having been written in book form, and it's in English. It's called Three Kingdoms, or San Guo Yan Yi in Chinese, and this is a story of the time period of around 200 AD when China had split into three kingdoms, and you have some very fierce generals at this time. And without going into the story too much, well, one of them is Guang Geng, who we often see like in Chinese restaurants. He's like in a little altar. He has the big sword, and he was elevated because of his fierceness to pretty much like an immortal standard. But in the story, what I find is interesting is that these men they go in these horrific battles where you've got tens of thousands of people battling with swords and knives and what have you, and then oftentimes they cry in the story. They cry about losing things, and so they're letting their emotions out. They're not locking them in. That's one way too. And sometimes, as men, we're taught, not to cry, but sometimes it's a good thing. You let those emotions out. You don't keep them in. You don't lock them up. So, but I thought that was real interesting about that story, because this goes back, like I said, the story goes back to 200 AD, and the book I think was written around the 1200s or something like that. Mm-hmm. But just interesting about that, and I think it's a way you've got to release these emotions of these horrors and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely that's true too. Han, over here on the picture thing, we have a picture of, is that you jumping up?
That's me. That's when I was during my younger days, and that was taken in Washington D.C.'s Chinatown.
Mm-hmm. So you say Chinatown was a rough place for you?
Well, I grew up in New York's Chinatown.
Uh-huh.
So as a kid, I grew up there, and when I studied the martial arts, I started with Japanese karate,
mm-hmm.
and I continued the Japanese and Okinawan styles in the Marine Corps. And it wasn't until I got to Washington D.C. that I returned to my Chinese roots and studied Chinese martial arts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. See,
just to get back to the subject of emotions, and I think that's one of the key things I've learned in my acupuncture practice, is that we can resolve people's pain and symptoms, but they can reappear unless we address the emotional component. And oftentimes the root cause of an illness is an emotional one.
Yeah, that's actually true. We found out that most diseases or whatever is due to a stress or imbalance within the body, and most of that is due to some type of emotional event. And once we remove the stress, the body can return back to its normal state of normalcy or healing, of health, so to speak. So yeah, that's why meditation is so beautiful. It's because it's like running a magnet over the entire body, or returning back to zero again. Once a person hits the meditation, you just simply letting go of everything that's holding you back from becoming the type of person that you already are inside. You're letting go of attachments. You're learning how to letting go of the heavy burdens that are constantly constantly holding you down, like the albatross around one's neck. So that's why a lot of times when you come across these iconical or archetypical masters and stuff a lot, they seem so happy and wearing such a beautiful smile on their face. Although all the crap and stuff is going on all around them, they're wearing a smile. Why? It's because they just let it go and let it be. And a funny thing in life, how we have a tendency to want to be worried about this and worried about that, and worry is not helping you. Okay? Worry is not being proactive to helping you to achieve your goals in life, nor to find a solution. If you imagine that you're already where you need to be, and if you imagine good thoughts, you would attract the solution towards you, and your unconscious, whatever you focus on, that's what grows. If you focus on being worried and you focus on trouble, that begins to be grow. that begins to manifest in life and also in your body. If you focus on health and you focus on the solution, that will grow. And when you begin to meditate, what happens is that because you already got the answer, you already know what path in order to walk. The problem is that you can't see it. Okay? And when you begin to meditate, you begin to let these things go. It's like when you're trying to think of somebody's name and you keep on trying to remember, or you can't remember where you put something. When you let go, and you're just going about your business with a smile on your face, all of a sudden it pops up. And that's what people need to be doing live. You know, in the Bible it says, cast your cares upon the Lord, for he cares for you. Regardless if you actually believe in God, Buddha, or whatever, it's a principle of detachment, okay? Cast your cares off to whoever you want it to, okay? Get it off you and just walk in life the beautiful person that you are. And that's what really living life is all about. Just focusing on Dharma, focusing on your divine purpose in life and to begin to fulfill it. And that's what, well, that's what meditation does for me anyway. I try to maintain a meditative state. Matter of fact, Deepak Chopra says is that when you have a compassionate, Deepak Chopra says, y'all know who Deepak is, right, Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay. He says in his very first one on his 7 spiritual laws of success, on the law of potentiality, about maintaining anytime. It's instead of meditation, if you just have a compassionate action towards other people, you'll be at the same level as meditation. Okay, so if you want to continually meditate, just do nice stuff for other people. Okay,
that's great.
Yeah. You can't be worried about other people's. You can't be worried about your own junk or own stuff that's going on in your own life when you're out here helping other people. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. So I found that to be very interesting. That's the 7 spiritual laws of success by Deepak Chopra. The very first one is the law of potentiality, where you have meditation on a daily basis. Your number one, he got it from the Course in Miracles, is for today I will not judge. Okay, that'll put you in a meditative state. Second state one is continually meditate on a continual basis, 1 hour a day plus. And the third thing is just completely just live a compassionate life. If you do either of these 3 things, you begin to access your who you are as an individual and begin to manifest your true potential in life. And that's why I love my show so much, because I'm doing what I love, you know. And my producer, he can't understand why one way I'm one. Said when I'm out in public I act one way. When I'm here, I'm just like totally confident. I don't care who I talk to. Okay, it's because I'm happy about what I'm doing. And it's the same way with you, right, Michael? You're happy about what you're doing, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It's not like going to work. It's, doing what you like.
Yeah, it's bliss. What about you, hon? You like what you're doing?
Oh, absolutely. And I agree totally with what you just said.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's why you got out of the CIA, huh? You wasn't following your bliss.
Well, I enjoyed my time in the CIA. I think all the paths I've traveled have actually led me to my end goal. Each was a stepping stone.
Yeah, I think that is too. But I think also, Han, that you bring more to the table from your perspectives than what you presently just do. You see, my whole thing, especially about having you on the show, is that you are a master healer. There are not, but you are also a CIA used to be a CIA operative. They got a lot of master healers out there, okay? But you're the only one I know that used to be a CIA operative. And I'm like, all right, if you combine both of those together, Han, what type of mentality or what type of contribution would that actually bring to the world? And my idea, about the things, what's going on in Afghanistan, what's going on here in America, what's going on in Japan, and all that other type stuff. How would you help healers, or how would you help the planet if somebody was to put you as a senator or in control or position of some type of power with what you knew with the CIA and together with your what you know as far as healing and everything? How would you make the world a better place?
I think if there are commonalities in what I did at the CIA, or even when I was a Marine and leading men in Vietnam, or as a martial arts instructor, and now as a acupuncturist and healer,
Mm-hmm.
that commonality is about connections with people,
Mm-hmm.
knowing people and gaining their trust and confidence. And in gaining the trust and confidence and making the connection, it's all about helping others. So in helping others and in helping my patients, they're not going to allow me to help them change whatever emotional, physical, or spiritual patterns that may be troubling them unless they trust me, unless they have confidence in what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout my career, whether it was in the military or in civilian life, I've tried to develop the ability to connect well with others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think it's so important in any profession, but especially the healing profession.
Okay. Well, let's say, hon, I'm gonna make you the president of the United States. Okay, and what would be the I'm gonna make you the president of the United States of everything that you learned. Okay. Right now, you're the president of the United States. What changes would you make as far as making the world a better place?
Well, first of all, I resign and I have Malik take over my duties.
Okay, so you want to what you call it the question? All right, I'm going to put it like this: if I was president of the United States and I had CIA experience and I was also a master healer, I would team up with Master Hon and make sure that Spreaker Forest Qigong was taught in every high school as a prerequisite. In order, and one of the reasons that would be was because in order to, right now we got down with Obamacare, with everybody, if they get sick, they have to use their insurance, whatever. But if we're practicing Spreaker Forest Qigong, Tibetan medical Qigong or whatever, I think we could probably, and you already said it yourself, that the number one thing on the pillars is the Qigong, is the Qigong movements and stuff that we do. First is Qigong, second is the herb, second is nutrition, second is herbs, second is nutrition.
Yes.
Second is nutrition, third is the herbs, fourth is what again?
Body work and massage.
Fourth is body work and massage, and fifth is acupuncture. So I'll be teaching, I make sure it's a prerequisite that would be taught at all the high schools for everyone to learn how to treat themselves in order to stay healthy. Okay, and that would bring the health care and everything down a lot, because everybody be doing preventive measurements instead of preventive things from getting sick in the first place, so it wouldn't be so much money taken out of the economy and other stuff to out of the government, so we can actually put that towards other things. Also, what I'd like to do as president of the United States is to find those people out there who have a potential to be like a Master Hon K. Even like, I hate to be what you call like that, but I believe just like people who got sick, I believe there are rich people out there who got billions and trillions of dollars out there. I mean, they got a lot of money. Now, what if you could find somebody, and I'm not trying to be blasphemous or anything, that could heal like Jesus? Okay, Jesus laid his hands on the sick, and they recover, blind eyes see, the ears, what you call it, all that other type stuff. And I believe just like you have prodigies out there, people you can give mathematical problems, they can do it in their heads, and they know, like these kids who know 8 different languages and all that. You got prodigies, child prodigies out there in these third world countries, in Mexico, over there in India, when they have the the millionaire, the slumdog millionaire. You got people over there. I would have programs in place that they can practice Spreaker Forest Qigong, and if they turn out to be superb healers, the renowned healers, not only be able to heal their families and everyone around them, but have these multimillionaires, these rich people, to be able to sponsor them to come here to the States or wherever that is. Now, why is that so important? That a person can buy, these millionaires can buy anything in the world that they want except their health. Am I right? Am I right, Michael?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, except the. Am I right, Hon?
Am I right, Hon?
Yeah, that's exactly right. 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 Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes, and I'm glad I made you president.
And this is what I'm yeah, and this is what I'm saying with this is though is that what you just had was a Gates. So whoever just died, this rich dude just died of a disease a few years back. As a Jobs, Steve Jobs died of something, right? Cancer or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
now imagine if we had somebody like a Jesus. Okay, imagine you have somebody who's the most powerfulest person, which got, and Jobs had somebody like that on their staff. Okay, to come up and cure him of disease. I'm trying to tell these rich people out here, there are people out here like that, who's genetically like that. Just like you got people who's able to do the math, calculate the math, and you can just give them these numbers and they can do it in their head. You got kids who can lift just as much as an adult because of their genetic potential, or run faster and all this, learn 8 languages and all this other. You got these child prodigies out here. So here you are, you're sick. You sooner or later you're going to be sick, and no matter what type of medical stuff that you medical hospitals that you go to or whatever, they won't be able to heal you. Now you got over there in these third world countries, also here in America, you got people. These children are dying every day, but not only are they dying, but your solution to your problem, to your sickness or future sickness, is dying also. And if we could take Spring Forest Qigong to these third world countries and have them to practice with the intention that if they do real good at this and they get real good at this and earnestly, because the very first thing that happens is, Han, according to Master Hon K, is that he always get on his students about practice. Am I right?
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned about getting these child prodigies to learn how to be healers. Because Chun-Yi Lin says that everyone is born a healer.
Mm-hmm.
So, just because I hold a title of Master Healer, that doesn't mean that other people can't do it. Everybody has the potential to help themselves heal and to help other people heal.
That is the truth. And let me tell you what. 3. A funny thing happened to me because I'm a Christian. Okay, I had it's interesting. I'm Pentecostal or whatever, but I had this lady who used to be my best friend's mom. She had cancer, and for some reason they didn't tell me this, and for some reason God, Lord, whoever you like to say, told me to drop out of the house, and I said, I'm here to help you, okay? And I prayed for them. And the next day she went to the hospital, whatever. She didn't have cancer anymore. Okay, so I know, and her, my best friend, his name is Marcus or whatever, and he just asked me about that. But this is what I did as a child, and what get me about this, Han, is basically this: if I had a healing program or something that was in place back during that time, maybe my life would be a little bit different. I think that there are people who. There's children out there who can, if they had that type of technique or if they had the systems and stuff in place, there could be a real benefit to the society. But let's face it, there's just not no money into it. Now, that's why I bring up the fact is that if we says, hey, Mr. Steve Jobs, if you invest in this Spring Forest Qigong program, we can go find these kids or people who have a natural talent for healing and put them earnestly into the program in order that when you get sick or something, we'll have them there on staff to be able to help you. Now, a lot of times in China, what they had basically is that they have groups of healers come together in order to help heal people. Have you heard of that, Han?
Well, Qigong was really big in China, unfortunately, because of the politics.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Qigong programs that were sponsored by the state are no longer getting the research money that they used to get. It used to be that Qigong was part of the curriculum in the traditional
could you hold on 1 minute?
Chinese medicine.
Yes, could you hold on? All right, everyone, we're about to go off the radio. If you want to listen to the rest of this, please look at the video, and we'll take it from there. Okay, go ahead.
So, unfortunately, the state sponsorship of and research devoted to Qigong is no longer as it was.
Yeah, I know. And you see, that's what made me so mad about that, because, we here in America, so I can actually talk about this. It was the advent of Falun Dafa, or Falun Gong during that time. It became so, you know about that, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that what happened is because one of the things that the Fallen Dafa actually preached about was about truth, compassion, and forbearance, and they had so many people getting healed in that particular program. So many people having positive change, their lives being transformed or whatever. They wasn't hurting people and all of it. The government or whatever didn't like that because a lot of their high-ranking people were involved in that because it became life transformational. And this is the problem, Han. Is basically this is that the Qigong exercises is definitely a threat to the established to the establishment, because instead of being dependent upon them in order to get healed, we become dependent upon ourselves. Okay, and that from a CIA perspective, I mean, what you think about that?
Well, I don't want to get into the politics of it. I think it's pretty complicated. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the Falun Gong movement was based in Taiwan, and as you know, Taiwan and the people on the mainland have their political differences. Gotcha. Unfortunately, the Falun Gong movement was actually a political movement that was corrupted to some extent because of that.
I know, and that's what.
But in China, people are still doing qigong. They can still get, but the main thing is that it isn't officially. It doesn't get the funding that it used to get, the research money.
Right, and that's why I'm so focused on about having, if any people listen to this, is about finding child prodigies or whatever, because I say it's all, most of it's all related to money. And if I tell a person the Rockefellers and the whoever else is what you call it out there, it says, hey, we got talent around here, a talent around the world right now that can heal just like Jesus. We just got to find them and train them. But the whole thing about it is, I'm just saying metaphorically speaking, okay? And right now, and there are places all over the world right here that kids are actually dying. They need food to eat on a regular basis, And I'm like, hey, we can offer them Qigong. We can offer them a way out. And they will diligently, and I mean diligently, practice these meditative and healing exercises on a daily basis, and they do whatever that they need to do in order to get them out of the situation. We're handing them Qigong in order for them to get out of the situation that they're in by becoming a better person. Does that sound like a good idea, Han?
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I like Chunyi Lin's philosophy of a healer in every family in the world without pain. And he's trying to do that. Myself, as an acupuncturist, I can only heal one patient at a time. But if I can teach one person Qigong and then teach other people, then we can get a whole community of healers.
Exactly, and that's what I'm focused on. Hey, Michael, was you interested in studying Qigong, right? That's what you were saying in the last video.
I was interested in it.
Yeah,
I have studied a little bit of Qigong, but I haven't been persistent in practicing. Let me put it that way. But over the years, I've taken a number of classes. There was a very well-known Taoist priest in California who used to come up to our area, and he would teach. And so I took classes with him a number of times, and but unfortunately, I never kept it up. But I would just like to comment, though, one thing about your comment about finding like children who could be trained and put back in their communities. And Cuba actually has a program with doctors where they do that. They find people in poor countries and they sponsor their education as medical doctors. And these people have ties to their community, and they go through the medical training. These people come from dirt hovel schoolhouses, and they end up being medical doctors. But then they go back in their community, and they love their communities, and they want to help them. And anyways, what you were talking about reminds me of this. It's like training people and putting them back into their communities where they have a tie, which would be very valuable.
Yes, and that's what Master Chun Li wants. He wants a healer in every family and a world without pain, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking about, huh? I'm looking at your, when I'm looking over here in Chinatown, you was actually, it was an interracial, brotherhood, wasn't it?
It was. Now, when I grew up in New York's Chinatown,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was a self-contained community, but I went to junior high school in a mixed neighborhood. We had blacks and Puerto Ricans and East Europeans, so it was a melting pot. New York, as you know, is a melting pot, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can see that. I like that. That's probably helped you a lot in when you was in the CIA, as far as interrelating with different people and stuff. Now, you also study a martial arts style called Jiao Gao. What is that specifically?
Yes, Jiaoga is a hybrid system. It's comprised of two southern systems and one northern system. So it's a pretty powerful form of martial arts.
Super. So you got Hung Gar, which is the strength, and then you got the Choga, which is the leg evasion, foot evasion.
Right. So the two southern styles are Hung Ga. We took the most powerful hand techniques from Hung Ga. Choi Ga is also a southern style. We took quick footwork from Choi Ga, and then we took the long-range kicking and jumping techniques from Northern Shaolin.
Mm-hmm.
And we combined them all. It was started by a guy named Zhao Long,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the trainer for one of the deputy commanders in Guangdong province, the army, and he helped train army troops. This was in the early 1920s.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who is this guy right here?
Okay, this is the father of my present Mizong style martial arts instructor.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Lu Zhendor, and he was very for his. They called him Lightning Hands Lu because he could knock out opponents in an all-out brawl, sort of like mixed martial arts. He could knock them out with just one palm strike to the chest.
Wow. So what form is he using right here?
He is practicing Mizong Shaolin martial arts.
Okay. All right. Never heard of that one. What does Mijong mean?
Yes, Mizong has many interpretations, but in our system, it means secret Buddhist sect art. Now, another interpretation is a lost track art.
Okay, interesting.
It's a combination of Bagua, Xingyi, which is the internal styles, which I know you know about,
Mm-hmm.
Tai Chi, and also Northern Shaolin. So it has both internal and external.
Interesting as far as that goes. And his form is good too. Look at that.
Yeah, he's very well known for his sword play. He taught the Qingping sword, which is the crown jewels of Chinese swordsmanship.
Wow. Okay, and what's his name again?
Lu Zhendor, and he's the father of my teacher, Lu Junhai.
Interesting. Okay, let me ask y'all both y'all questions. When y'all performing acupuncture on people, is there a difference between, y'all both know what fascia is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a difference in the density of the fascia or the skin texture for those who practice internal martial arts versus those who does external exercises?
That I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah, the fascia is different for people who do the martial arts, especially the internal styles. I believe that's what you're alluding to. Is that correct, Malik?
Mm-hmm.
Because some martial arts masters, they can control the fascia in their lower abdomen, in what we call the dantian area, so that they can actually absorb blows, and actually, when you hit the martial arts master, in the lower abdomen, their fascia is such that it's so flexible and pliable.
Yeah, that they're able to bounce.
Ward off the blow.
And bounce you. That's very interesting. But that's also a very interesting thing. That's how when they be doing when you be doing pressing, pressing ward, you see the one where the student comes at the instructor and then he bounces them or projects them like many feet away.
Yes, that's what we call fa jing.
Yes.
Or the expression or power.
Yeah. Now, my whole thing about that, because, me being a personal trainer, I always got to try to figure out. My thing is that the fascia is a lot more thicker in those particular areas, and that is one of the things that go behind projecting somebody so far. It's just like taking a bamboo stick and you bring it back and then you let it go. So you got these and you let it go and they go wham. So a lot of times when you have these people coming at you, you got your tendon ligament development and also your fascia. So just like I, as a personal trainer, I develop my muscles to get big. These internal martial artist people instead has developed their fascia, tendons and ligaments and also their bones to become just as powerful as what their muscles are, so that even if you look at them, they may not look as strong, but because of their link, their connection to that muscle, those are so thick that when you press, they're able to express that muscle. They're able to express force a lot more. What you think about that, Hon?
Yeah, I think that's very true. And if you look at Bruce Lee, he didn't have the build. I mean, he had a good structure, but he didn't have the build of Mr. America. But he had very strong muscles and tendons and ligaments. But when he exerted force, it wasn't just from the arm, 1-inch punch, but it was a whole body force.
Right.
So everything was driven from the ground up, and it was so well synchronized and coordinated that he was able to harness all his strength into a very small, compact area and throw his opponents, who weighed 2 or 3 times more than he did, several feet in the air.
And yes, that was also it. Now, Michael and Hannah, are y'all familiar with the book called The Anatomy Trains? Please.
I'm not.
I think I've seen the title, but no, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Now, the book called The Anatomy Trains, and I challenge both of you to pick it up and read it in order for you to understand. It may bring some more light to your internal martial arts training. Now, what this guy basically did was that they were dissecting people, okay? And what he found out that there's fascia or wetsuit that actually goes over every muscle in the entire body. Now, you know what a wetsuit is like when you're swimming, right? Okay, so when he finds it out, when he cuts it sideways, it's like he got skin on the chicken or whatever like that, which is fascia. We also have skin that's also on our muscle. That is just like when we lift in weights, we put on a belt in order to help to increase your strength. Well, this fascia, it does the same thing. Okay, it keeps everything in place. But the thicker that this fascia becomes, the more compact or the more energy that you actually be able to get from these muscles, from the coordination of all the muscles together. Okay, so I found out that to be very interesting. Now, I was mentioning that because of arm body training, because with developing the arm body, you can actually develop the fascia on these muscles to the extent that they'll be able to better to absorb blows. And this is from the study of The Anatomy Trains, and I definitely ask y'all both to look into that. All right, people, we got about 5 more minutes, and I love talking to you. Also, you have your own, both of you, have your own clinics. This is your acupuncture place, correct, Hon?
Yes, this is my acupuncture clinic. I call it the Sports Edge Acupuncture. I use the term Sports Edge. Now, a lot of my patients kind of wonder why I called it Sports Edge. It's to pay homage to my martial arts teachers who were Chinese medicine practitioners. But I actually treat all kinds of different things, from acne to stroke and infertility.
Ah, okay, that's super. Also, here's a picture of yourself when you was here at the CIA.
Yeah, that's me standing at the lobby. It was during my retirement ceremony, and my wife is by my side along with my two daughters.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And this is the picture of Chun Yen.
Yeah, this is a picture with me and my Qigong master, Chen Lin, and we're in Minnesota.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, he's like, I always wanted to study under him. Is he just as powerful in person?
He's even more so, and what I like about him is he's really a humble person, and he walks the talk.
Yeah.
And what I also like about him, and what resonated with me, is that he's well versed in Chinese medicine, acupuncture, all the pillars of Chinese medicine, but also Chinese geomancy and feng shui and astrology.
Okay, that's absolutely good. All right, we're gonna we got about 3 more minutes. I'm going to ask y'all, do y'all have any parting comments, anything that y'all like to say? I'll start off with you, Michael.
Yeah, the conversation this was a good conversation, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like to see it go on again. But one thing when Han discussed the 5 pillars of Chinese medicine is that's kind of like the 5 pillars of healthcare too, because that's how we can start taking care of ourselves through meditation, qigong, nutrition, herbs, massage, acupuncture. But the rest of the world takes it another level, which is into more external medicine, which is they're getting pharmaceutical drugs, they're going for surgery, x-rays, chemotherapy, things like that. And that's a very, very far out extreme. So if we make a continuum of all those things from meditation to, say, surgery and chemotherapy, we want to stay on the end where we're doing the meditation, nutrition, herbs, exercise, things like that, and not get out on that farther end. And I think that's been the focus of our discussion today, too, is to taking care of ourselves, learning how to do qigong, or the importance of taking care of ourselves and living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And yourself, Han, any parting comments?
Well, Malik, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. I thank Michael for your remarks, and I want you to continue to do what you're doing to spread the word and to help make a healer in every family in the world without pain. And happy holidays to you and all the people in the audience.
All right, that's definitely super. Now, would y'all both like to come back? You know what Dit Dao is, Han?
Oh yes, and I brew my own.
Okay, would you be interested in sharing your secrets over the radio?
Absolutely.
Okay, what about you, Michael? You do Dit Dao?
I do, yeah.
Okay, would you be interested in sharing your secrets over the air?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to get some people to put together a Dit Dao video. And the reason that I'm doing that is just a reference for people just to come back and watch the video, and we can exchange information and stuff. So I'm looking for that. Please hold on for after the show. Don't hang up, both y'all. We'll be chit-chatting. And my name is Malik L. Train. This is Health Awareness Talk. Again, we have Hon K. Lee of Sports Edge Acupuncture Clinic, and we also have Michelle Chitowski here of East Earth Herbals, East Earth Trade Herbal Company. And all y'all out there, please have a wonderful night and see you soon. Thank you.